All right, welcome everyone to Sports Fan Talk on GLX Sports. I'm your humble host, Big G.
It's Raider Mike. You know what I'm saying? Back in the house. I was gone. We come back.
Raider lady in the building, getting ready to get it cracking. Let's go.
Yes, sir. And you know who it is, man, the young architect.
Yes.
I just really wanted to talk to Raider lady. I couldn't catch her. You know, I wasn't on there last week, about the Warriors doing their thing. I really want to catch her and talk to her, a little bit. We both were Laker fans, but still, I got to have something good to talk about.
Yes, indeed. We had a nice time last week. She took it and she gave the props. She gave it up.
That's what I wanted to hear. I just
she gave them. Yeah. She gave them. She definitely did.
Hey, they did their thing, man. I mean, I had to say it like that but they did it. I mean, shout out to, I'll say Curry. I'll say it one more time, Andrew Wiggins. The second, he's the MVP 1.5 in my opinion, because he made it happen. He really made it happen for them, and that's good because he finally started living up to that number one overall pick billing that he was slated for. He don't have to be the man, and they needed that. They needed that guy. So kudos to the Warriors.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, he was a number one overall pick, but some people aren't meant to be that guy. They're meant to be a good guy on the team. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Nice piece.
Yep. That is him. That is him. He can play freely.
Yes,
he can play freely.
Speaking of which, we can get a little bit into the NBA draft just happened. You know what I'm saying? We got some new talent coming into the league. Architect, I know you was paying close attention to that. What do you think about some of these new players getting up in the league?
Honestly, the one I'm really most curious about is who went number 2 to the Thunder, Chet Holmgren. I think Sam Presti, what he's done with that Thunder team, as far as bringing in all those young talent, especially with all the picks that he's got accumulated over the years. I'm curious to see why he chose Chet over Jabari Smith. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Chet. I think he'll be a nice wing player. He adds length to the team. He can handle the ball. Basically, he's like your modern day player. You know what I'm saying? He's 195 at 7 feet. That's scary to me, man. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're like, I weigh more than him and I'm only 6'2", right? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. That's a toothpick. But you know what I'm saying? I think part of it, I think that'll play to his advantage. And obviously I know he's going to get bigger because, I mean, he's only like 19, 20. So he hasn't got his grown man body yet. But also Paulo Banchero going number 1 when Orlando didn't even work him out. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why Orlando tried to keep it a secret when you have the number 1 pick. You literally could just come out and be like, this is who I'm going to pick. This is who I'm going to take. I don't understand why it was such a big secret, but I think that's a nice pickup for Orlando. Jamari Smith going to Houston. I think that's good. Again, Houston didn't work out Jabari Smith. In fact, I believe he declined the workout for Houston because in his mind, he probably was going number 1 and number 2. To seeing the Lakers trade up to get Max Christie in the second round, curious to see why they did that. Obviously, the Lakers in the recent years, they haven't necessarily kept young talent, but maybe that's something that they see. The Kings being the Kings again, picking somebody that I don't even know. I didn't really pay attention to that much, but a position that they already have in a power forward when they just traded for Domantas Sabonis. The Warriors selecting Patrick Baldwin, which I thought the Warriors were going to trade. I thought the Warriors were going to trade out of the first round or even trade out of the draft completely, saying that our luxury tax is going to be through the roof. But it's curious to see what we do with Patrick Baldwin because he's another 6'10" guy who can dribble and he's a solid defender. But he's coming off a bad season and he has a bad ankle. Giving me more vibes of something that we'll toss around in the G League and see how he develops. But overall, I don't see any like future all pro or not all pro. I'm football. All NBA players and stuff like that. Maybe some potential as far as the top 3. I think who was it? Who got Dyson Daniels? Whoever got Dyson Daniels, I think that's going to be a team for them.
Oh, the Pelicans?
The Pelicans. I think he's going to fit into that team well. Not saying that he has to come in and be a superstar, but they already have they already have two ball dominant players, and saying that Brandon Ingram and when Zion comes back. I think he'll fit into that role well, where he's a good perimeter defender. I would argue the best perimeter defender in the draft. I think the biggest thing that he needs to do is work on his three, but I think that'll come with time. Again, nobody in this draft is significantly old. They're all fairly young, so I'm sure they'll develop well. But yeah, I'm really curious to see how Chet Holmgren is going to fill into the Thunder and why Sam Presti chose him, because Sam Presti hasn't really missed on a draft pick. So,
I mean, he has, but his percentages are way better than
exactly. I couldn't think of none off the top of my head. You know what I mean?
His hits are way better than his misses. So
exactly
that.
Exactly.
You know, Raider Mike, what'd you think about it, man?
You know, I really didn't care about that draft. I know we didn't have no first round draft pick. You know what I'm saying? I knew the pick that we got, he can shoot. You know, I mean, I think he's going to be good for us. I think that pick is good for us, but that's down the line. He ain't gonna be, maybe he can contribute right away. Maybe he can't. But the Warriors picked, like, we're going to talk about that. The Warriors picked that guy to replace Kevon Looney because somebody ain't getting paid. Somebody can be gone. So my thing, the Lakers, we I don't know. I'm just a loss for words. I mean, I think that may be a good pick for us, but I knew we had the second rounder. We didn't have first round pick. There's a lot of good talent in that draft that went undrafted, who went late that we could have picked up. Besides picking that guy up, you know, there were some people that went way later than they were supposed to go. You know, and I don't know. You know how funny the NBA draft is. You know, as they go on potential. See, they go on upside and potential, and not actual the talent sometime of the player. They said the potential in that ceiling is higher than this other person's ceiling. So we're going to draft this person and end up being in the G League and not making it to the league. Or, you know, sometimes I think it's just backwards. You know,
I think
that's
the Lakers
why
got who they really wanted.
No,
what's it called? I'm talking about Sharif and Scottie Pippen Jr.
Scottie Pippen Jr. I think he may. I don't know that.
And Shaq's son not bad. He just had a bad heart, so he had to have
did we draft him just because his daddy?
No, y'all signed him. Y'all signed him after
two-way signs.
Yeah, two-way
sign. Okay, well, I think we're gonna do something with him because I think we could work with him. I think we got a lot of work we could do with him. Shaq's son is a project that's gonna take some time. We got to develop. That other first thing we drafted second round. I'll say that he can come in and contribute. We ain't got no shooters, not the way we need to. Well, somebody better learn how to shoot. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. We just don't. To me, I'm not happy. I'm not impressed with what we've done. But the Warriors always seem to come up with somebody good. Why the hell we can't come up with somebody good? I mean,
they traded them all. They traded them.
Yeah, we traded them.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
LeBron said, "Get your bags and get out of here."
He said, "Come along, pack your bags." Y'all, that's LeBron. Come on, ride on the king train. That's what happened with that.
That's what it is, man.
Y'all, man, imagine if y'all had Kuzma, Ingram, who was that lefty guard you guys had with the Minnesota that we had for a minute?
Julius Randle,
D'Angelo Russell.
Russell.
Nah,
they couldn't have the snitch.
Not D'Lo.
Hey man,
not D'Lo.
Yeah, y'all had a lot of talent, but you know,
well,
it is what it is.
But anyway, the NBA draft is what it is.
Yeah. Well, you know, I love Raider Lady's commentary, so we're gonna let her go last. We're gonna let her clean it up for us because you know I have just a few things to say. I don't have much on it, but the one thing, like, I watch a lot of college basketball. Let me not say a lot, but because sometimes looking at it can be like, oh gosh, you know what I'm saying? Look at a damn near high school game sometimes. But one player that kept sticking out to me throughout the season, man, was Jaden Ivey. He's a guard for Purdue.
Detroit picked him up.
Dude, yeah, he's going to the Pistons, and they already got a nice young nucleus, and I think he'll fit in well there, and he'll come in. He's going to be a factor, in his rookie season. I think he's going to get some minutes, and I think he'll be a player. I like Jabari Smith. I think he got an NBA body, and he's a leaper. I think he'll be good in the league. Banchero, I think. I
saw him give up at Duke when they was in the tournament, bro.
I'm about to say, but if he works on his game, he can be a guy that can give you some significant minutes. He has a body, he has the size, so it's possible. But
what's crazy about that though, real quick, they already, as soon as he got drafted, like 10 minutes after that, because they drafted Shaq and they drafted Dwight, they already had him edited in a Laker jersey about 5 years from now.
Damn. Yeah, man. But I think, I don't know. I don't see anything special in him. But this whole Chet Holmgren thing, man, I watched that NCAA tournament, man. And
he plays against good talent. He's just trash.
Man, bro, I never seen somebody 7 feet look 5'11" so quick, man. That dude, I don't give a damn. He could dribble between the legs and do all this step back threes against Santa Clara. You know what I'm saying? You playing against Kentucky and shit, and they boys over there making you look like a soft little jelly roll, man. What do you think NBA players are going to do to that dude, man? You know what I'm saying? And he's with the Thunder. I understand Presti has a good track record. You know what I'm saying? You go through his picks, Durant, Westbrook, freaking Serge, Harden, Reggie Jackson, Steven Adams. So he gets players, but I think this dude he's not in the same class as those other players that have been drafted by OKC. So people are wondering, like, oh, what does Presti see in Chet Holmgren that no one else sees? I think he sees wishful thinking. He sees a guy that's 7 feet that has basketball skills. But, hey, man, when you get against them brothers, man, they get to pushing that 195 pounds around. We're going to see what he's made of. He either is going to step it up. He's going to
stay on the perimeter.
He's going to either step it up, get in the weight room, get his game together, or, he's just going to fall by the wayside and be another Porzingis, man. You know what I mean? They thought Kristaps was going to be – they called him a unicorn, man. That man looked like a Shetland pony right now. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. Oh, that's what I got. Raider Lady 19, I'm anxious to hear what you got on it.
Hey, when it comes to Chet, one thing you cannot measure – you talked about Porzingis. You can't measure mind. You can't measure mind. And so everybody looks great until they actually have some adversity.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what Porzingis. I still think
Tyson said. Right. Mike Tyson said, no, everybody got a game plan until they get hit in the mouth.
Right. And I still like I still like Porzingis' game. I really do. But he's mentally fragile. He's just not mentally strong. He doesn't have intestinal fortitude. And every player doesn't have that. And that's what Chet is going to be faced with. Does he have the mental toughness to be able to go play on the next level? He is a product of the Curry revolution. So, I mean, there will always be some people that they take because they can shoot, but he's a prime example. He has the height and the length of the body frame of Kevin Durant. If Presti, did he draft Kevin?
Yeah.
Did he draft Kevin?
Yeah.
So there you have it. So it's a little bit mix of that. The shooting range and the slight build. Hopefully he can develop into that. So I'm sure that's what his thought process was on that. He's not going to be asked to do anything major. They already got Gilchrist, the little guard. They got some players over there who are going to be the majority of the ball handling, going to the basket. He's going to be a guy who can receive on the kick and drive. And make things happen off the dribble pull up. He's not going to be asked to do much. Like, what I'm saying? They're not going to put that on him. Even that, he was a number 2 pick.
Number 2.
Yeah, because they don't want him to turn into that dude that went before Carmelo that went to the Pistons.
Oh, Darko?
Yeah. Right, they don't want to turn into that. So that's because he had too much pressure on him. He wasn't ready.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't do it. So I didn't, I'm not super keen on this draft. this draft, I mean, I'm gonna say I didn't watch a ton of college hoop this year, but I do know who that Christie is, that guy that the Lakers drafted, due to the fact that I like Tom Izzo and I like the way he coaches up his players. He's very hard. He makes sure that they tough nose, that they play defense, that they got, they're fundamentally sound, and that's why I think they took him. Because there again is someone who's already been through the ringer by the style of play that they play at Michigan State. All right. He ain't got to go out there and score 20, 25. He can be one of those players who excels as he becomes a professional when the kind of cuffs and the shackles is released off of him. He's 6'6". He has like a 6'10" wingspan. You know what I'm saying? He can play defense. He's a tough guy who can, he was still like the center of attention for Michigan State. A lot of teams had to, send a lot of players at him, but he didn't shoot the ball particularly well. But again, he's not gonna be asked to do nothing. You're gonna go play in the G League. You ain't gotta do nothing up here, bro. This is a team that's gonna be built through free agency. All right, it ain't built through the draft. And there really ain't never been a Lakers style outside of, the homegrown ones they took, like James Worthy and the others. That's not how the Lakers roll. It's never been how they roll, especially since the Buss family took over. They go add pieces through free agency to go ahead and make runs. And if they stay together 3, 4, 5, 6 years and build on top of that, that's what they do. I do like the signing of the two ways of Sharif and Scottie Pippen Jr. Played in the SEC, went to Vanderbilt, is a scorer, averaged 20 a game. Okay, he can put the ball in the basket. Has to physically grow, of course. Again, these are players they're not asking for, but Sharif is a nice project, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because he was a blue chipper coming out of high school, had the heart situation his freshman year. It stunted his development, and once he came back, he wasn't getting no run. That's why he transferred to LSU. But when he transferred to LSU, you playing behind a whole bunch of upperclassmen, couldn't get on the court. So I understand why he said, I'm going to take this long grind route as compared to my dad when we go back to school. You're not guaranteed any minutes. Not saying you guaranteed minutes in the G League, but you got a fresh start. He needed to escape the enigma of being basically a player who didn't do what he was capable of in college. So go ahead and scrap it. I'm going to go to the G League and grind down there. I like that mentality. That's saying he his own person. He understands. That means he's willing to go through it. And that means a lot. That says a lot about the young man. And he's 6'10". Got to get some fire under his ass, though.
Yeah. Shaq said he was too nice.
He coasts through the game. He's just running up and down the court. Can't play like that. You have to play with initiative. You got to play with intent. If he learns how to play with intent, he can do some things. So I like that. And the only other player that I really like that I saw is Noel's Ivy's son, who went to Detroit, because I know his mama.
Yeah, Jaden Ivey.
Yeah, I know his mama. So shout out to that family to keeping that thing going. Notre Dame product, and she played for the Detroit Shock. So I was good to see, and he come from a hell of a bloodline. So
at his press conference, they gave him like all the jerseys that his family that had played for Detroit. They gave him all the jerseys.
Right.
I was like, that's dope. That's dope.
It is. So. Yeah, it was a whole hum type of draft. I was like,
yeah, it wasn't nothing that really made your eyes pop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those drafts where
it's a tweener draft. You
don't look at it as a difference maker for any teams. You know what I mean?
But in the NBA, that's few and far between. Though it's not like you get a lot of drafts like that.
Yeah, I like that 96 draft, 97 draft.
Like that 03 draft.
Like that 97 draft. Kobe Bryant, Ray Allen, Sharif Abdul-Rahim.
You forgetting AI.
Wallace. AI came out in 96. I'm talking about class 97.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he came with KG and them. Yeah.
Oh, he did. That's
Steve Nash. You have 4 Hall of Famers in that draft class. 4. And then a whole bunch of all-stars.
Yeah. That's few and far between.
Class of 97, baby. That's my
Can't get a whole lot of that.
I'm gonna say you can't get them all like that. That's a nice class.
That's a rarity.
Yeah, what I mean.
Now we gonna be like LeVar Ball, like he said, we're gonna switch gears. We're gonna go to the NFL. I can switch gears anytime.
Stay in your lane now. Stay in your lane.
We're going to get into it. We're going to go. We had a topic last week we didn't get to hit on, because one of our compadres was MIA, and he wanted to hit this one up. We saved it for him.
Oh,
We're
wasn't
gonna let him go
MIA.
first.
Wasn't
We're gonna
MIA.
let hey brother, just listen, man. Just listen, my friend. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't here. We missed you. All right. Does that make you feel better? We missed you, my friend.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about the top 5 NFL tight ends of all time. It would have been right on time last week with Gronk retiring. You know, it would have been like we set it up for his retirement. You know what I mean? It would have been kind of smooth, but we're gonna come in a week later. We're gonna talk about it. Raider Mike, let's hear your top 5, brother.
Yeah, well, I had did some consideration on it, but I mean, it is what it is. I had to change it. I thought about it, but then I said, nah, you know what? I got to go with the 5 ones that I think. It's not about what any sports writers think. It ain't about what nobody else think. It's what I think from watching these players play. And in my list, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna go number 5. I'm starting at the bottom, and I'm gonna work my way to the lonely spot at the top. So I'm gonna go, and you might like this one, Gregory, because one of your old compadres, and I don't know why I'm saying that, because dude was wrong. Jay Novacek is my 5th. My
Nova.
list, I got Jay Novacek is my 5th tight end. Reason why Jay Novacek was raw. I liked the Jay Novacek when he played for Dallas. I mean, even though I was only that team I could stomach. I could stomach the Cowboys, but I couldn't stomach none of them other ones. But Jay Novacek was number 5, and he could have maybe been higher if he played for Dallas longer. I think if he played with Aikman and them longer, I think he'd be higher up this list because he had the skill set of he was this athletic, he was fast, he could block, he could run routes, catch, never drop nothing. You know what I'm saying? I remember that about him. He was mentally tough, and
I like that one. It's a nice way to start us off.
And then on my 4th one, and I'm gonna go Rob Gronkowski, and that's my 4th tight end. And we know he could do it all. He's a big body, could block, run routes, just catch the ball on anybody, and nobody really could stop him. He's just a big target. You know what I'm saying? I think he was a great target. Tom Brady had, really enjoyed having him for all them years and having his services, but now he's retired. But now I'm gonna go to my number 3 pick, and I got Antonio opening up the floodgates. I gotta go Antonio Gates. You know what I'm saying? I give Antonio Gates some love on here. You know what I'm saying? He was an excellent tight end. He could block, catch passes. You know what I mean? Like I said, he came out of Kent State or whatever. And he played basketball. How you go from basketball to being a tight end and just in the Hall of Famer? He ain't the Hall of Famer yet, but he's soon to be a Hall of Famer. He gonna get his jacket. He gonna get his gold jacket. He gonna get his gold jacket. So that was my 3rd, and number 2 is my boy from Cal. You know who that is? It's Tony Gonzalez.
Tony G.
Yes, I'll go with Tony Gonzalez for number 2, and he would have been my number 1, but I'm gonna get to my number 1. But Tony Gonzalez is an excellent route runner. He could block. He could do it all. Tony Gonzalez was a complete tight end. He got all the records for tight ends for most yards, most touchdowns. He got it. He got stats of a wide receiver playing tight end. And getting to my 1st tight end, my number 1 overall would have had, if he played in this modern day NFL pass happy offense, and he still was great in his era. He could have played in the 80s, the 90s. I mean, he played in the 80s. He could have played he can play right now and put up the numbers like Gonzalez, and he would have put up better numbers. I believe that my number 1, and I hate that team. We don't like them boats, but you got to give it up to Kellen Winslow, Sr. I still say he's the greatest tight end ever played the game that I've ever seen play. And I know people say, I don't think too many people have an argument about that, because Greg, the man was big, fast. He'll run over you. He'll run past you. I mean, I just think that's the best tight end of all time, and I'm sticking with that. I've always admired how good his game, even though he's tear the Raiders up sometime. But you know what I'm saying. But you got to give him his shine, man. That's the greatest tight end of all time. That's my 5.
Okay. I like that. I'll go up next. I think I'm gonna keep mine quick. You know what I mean, for you guys. I had mine I had a list last week. I had my little notes and everything, but I accidentally threw them out and shredded them with the notes from my last week's show. So I had to redo it real quick today. I got the order right, but I missed some of my little facts. But neither here nor there. Number 5 for me, I'm going with the Wizard of Oz, man. Ozzie Newsome was the first tight end as a kid where I noticed, like, you know, as kids, you pick positions, your favorite players, like my favorite quarterback is such and such, running back, so Ozzie was my first favorite tight end, man. Besides Billy Joe Dupree, he couldn't make my list, but, you know, Ozzie was my guy. You know what I mean? And the stuff he's done post career, football playing career is even more impressive as far as his GM picks with the Ravens and everything, but we won't go into that. We just go football. Next up, number 4, I got John Mackey. You know what I mean? He was 1-time Super Bowl champ, 5-time Pro Bowl, 3-time first team all NFL. You know, he was another one, exceptional talent. He was ahead of his time. We're talking about somebody in his rookie year who averaged 20 yards a catch. And then guess what? He ran back kickoffs and averaged 30 yards per return. So, you know, a dude definitely, if he played in his past happy time right now, he'd be another guy who would be up there with Kittle and Kelsey and all that. You know what I mean? And he is another one off the field, was a great man. We won't even talk about the 88 plan. Maybe I'll do that in the 3 minutes of funk someday. But he was a good advocate for players after they retired. My number 3 guy, I'm going to go with the Gronkowski. I mean, dude is an unstoppable weapon around the goal line. What can you say? You know, like you can say what you want about New England and their little system and putting up numbers, but the guy was an unstoppable force around the goal line, and he was Tom's blanket. You know what I mean? Somebody had to do it. I mean, he had his little Edelmans and what's the other little slot dudes? Yeah, he had Edelman and another guy.
Wes Welker.
Yeah, Wes Welker. He had those dudes, but ultimate blanket, Gronkowski, you know what I mean? And, you know, he did his thing. He put the bill. If he didn't have so many injuries, he'd probably be even higher on the list. Number 2, I'm going to go with Mike's number 1, Kellen Winslow. You know, this dude, I think he's one who revolutionized the position. The game I remember, what was that? The Miami Dolphins played the San Diego Chargers. There's like a famous
when he was dehydrated.
Clip.
That overtime game.
Off the field. Yeah, walking off the field with the towel on the head, man, and put in that work. It was Winslow, Joyner, and then they had Jefferson too, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and they had Wes Chandler too at the time.
Yeah, and the freaking Chargers had ultimate offense. They were like, they put up numbers. Yeah, they put up numbers before numbers were a factor in the league. So, and Kellen was that dude at the tight end. That was his part. And number 1, got to go with Gonzalez, man. Another dude. He revolutionized. If there's no Tony Gonzalez, there's no Antonio Gates. Now everybody wants a power forward tight end or power forward from college basketball to play tight end in NFL. That's ultimate. You know, Gonzalez started that, and you know he's a decent basketball player at Cal. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he probably could have been a power forward in the league, not like a star, but he could have been solid, probably. You know what I mean? Shit, who knows? But as far as NFL tight end, he was exceptional. He was great. So he made the right decision to play in the NFL, and he's my number 1 guy. You know, and honorary. I you know what? I couldn't in good conscience put Shannon Sharp on here because I think he's a wide receiver who got switched to a dang tight end, man. That's what he was.
He was. That's what happened. He's a wide receiver. I know. That's what he was. I was just like, I can't do it in good conscience. But he put up the numbers. I give him his props. I'm not saying that, you know, he's not a great tight end, but I think damn near I almost look at him as like, he is a cheat code, man. He's like, I'll be an all right wide receiver, but I could be a great tight end. Let me switch. You know, that's just me. You know what I mean? Raider Lady 19. What hold on. Let's go architect. You go up next, man.
You let me know what you got.
All right, man.
Hey, okay. I tell you this
radio
one time.
lady.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Go
go ahead,
go ahead.
My top 5. I'm not big on the current slot of tight ends because it's pass happy league. So a lot of these new cats ain't gonna be on here for me, but I will give my honorary just to go. I'm gonna go with Gronkowski because he's a defensive end who played tight end.
Oh, I give you that.
That's
I like
JJ.
that.
That's JJ
like the
Watt
build,
on the offensive
the build,
side.
the long, extremely long arms, big hands. He was a mismatch nightmare. I mean, you know how to use his body, box people out. You couldn't go over him. You couldn't get around him. So I give him that because he wasn't extraordinary. He was not an extraordinary route runner and everything, but he knew what he was supposed to be, and he had one of the best quarterbacks throwing him the ball. Period. Number 5 is my man Dave Casper, man, the ghost from the post. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to get a Raider in there. And he was one of the best, man. He a 5-time All-Pro, 5-time was it All-Pro? And then what's the other one? I can't think right now. But anyway, he got 5 of those selections.
Pro Bowler.
Yeah, Pro Bowler and All-Pro. Made some extraordinary catches in the era of when they just started to open up the offense. Like you said, you talked about Eric Coryell. That actually, Don Coryell is a prodigy of Al Davis, and they were the first 2 teams to really start opening up the passing game. So I give him that just because, outside of Newsome and those guys, he was one of the, he was just damn good. 52 touchdowns. He went to the Hall of Fame. My number 4 is Shannon Sharp.
Shay Sharp.
Yeah, I gave it to Shannon, man. He was a killer. Just a nightmare mismatch, can run route. To me, he is who Darren Waller is like of this era. That's Shannon Sharp, a guy who you say who was a wide receiver, played wide receiver at Georgia Tech. That they don't get a lot of passes there. They learn how to block. Megatron went there. He was probably the only last real pass receiving wide receiver to go there. Everybody else kind of is that in between guy. So that's where Waller is. So I give Shannon Sharp that for my number 4. My number 3 is Antonio Gates. I'm going with Antonio Gates, another one. I mean, there was nothing he could not do. He came through a lot for Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers owes his career to Antonio Gates. In my opinion, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
He made him. You know what I'm saying? And everybody needs that one, but he made him to me. All right, number 2 to me is the old school Ozzie. Ozzie revolutionized the tight end game. Just hard nosed. I didn't see him play, but from the highlights that I seen, he was a mismatch nightmare. There's nothing he couldn't do on the field. He was a great blocker, playing with the Browns and all that good stuff. So I give it to him. And then he was my number 2, right? And my number 1 is Tony Gonzalez. Tony Gonzalez, like you say, revolutionized the game. Great pass receiving tight end. A whole bunch of touchdowns.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of touchdowns.
111 of them puppies.
Yeah. So that was my guy. So that's my top 5.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Architect, bring us home, man.
All right. So right off the bat, my number 5 is Antonio Gates, man. Obviously, growing up a Raider fan, I see him torch us all the time. But I ain't gonna lie, when that year, I think they went 13-3, and it was him and LT and Phillip Rivers. You know what I'm saying? I watched a lot. I watched like a lot of the highlights, and man, you see 85 everywhere, man. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like what Raider Lady said, when Phillip Rivers was in trouble, he looked for 85. You know what I mean? And I think that was huge, especially someone who literally they pulled him off a basketball court and threw him in some pads. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Number four, I gotta go Rob Gronkowski, man. I mean, as far as in today's game, he is the epitome of what you want your tight end to be. You know what I mean? Granted, I think his blocking is kind of overlooked in a sense, but he was a decent blocker for Tom Brady, especially during those Super Bowl runs and with the Patriots. And even 2 years ago with the Bucks, man. He blocked pretty well. He could catch the ball. Always was Tom Brady's go-to guy, even when he had that boy, what's that boy, Aaron Hernandez, and all them. Like when he had that powerful offense, you know what I'm saying? Um, at number, what is that? What's that? 4? At number 3,
Yeah.
I got Kellen Winslow, man. Some talk about someone who changed the game. He is the reason why a lot of these newer tight ends, you know what I'm saying, why if you ask them, they'll go back to Kellen Winslow, Ozzie Newsome, those boys. But I hear a lot more of Kellen Winslow because he was the 6'5" fast guy, fast dude who could just catch everything thrown his way. You know what I'm saying? Like you alluded to, that big game where he had the towel wrapped around his neck. They show that on all the NFL films, highlights, and all that. They show that all the time. At number 2, I got Tony Gonzalez. You know what I'm saying?
Got Gonzalez number 2, huh?
Yeah, I got Tony G number 2. You know, I watched Tony Gonzalez a little later on in his career. When he was really with like his last few years in Kansas City, and then obviously his latter years in Atlanta. But even in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, he had them cracking. And truth be told, I think he retired a year before they went to the Super Bowl or something like that. Not gonna lie, I feel like, not saying that it would have made a significant difference, but I feel like having that experience, especially playing against someone like Tom Brady, I feel like he would have been able to help with the game plan more as far as like securing the win.
Man, nah, nothing could stop that.
All right, that's a little far. That's a little.
Hey, they was up like 28-3 or something like that.
It's up by 25.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I don't even. I was
You
just
could
trying
have
to
done
see.
nothing about that.
Look, I threw the line out there and y'all caught it. No, but my number 1, man, he's my favorite tight end of all time, and it's Shannon Sharp.
Shay Sharp, huh? Got you too.
And it's quite opposite. And it's quite opposite to what you said, being a receiver and moving to tight end, saying it's a cheat code. I would argue that it's more difficult. You know what I'm saying that he had to learn how to block, saying that, you know, he couldn't just be all, you know, free roam out there on the outside. Learning an entirely new position, and not only being good, but excelling at it to the point where he has that gold jacket. Even so, to the point where the Ravens, when he was on that Ravens team, when they won the Super Bowl, he very much was their offense. You know what I'm saying? Like, my thing is, and us Raider fans, we know the
98 yards.
Yeah, that 96-yard touchdown that killed us.
That's all he needed to do. One big play. They even started calling him Big Play Shay because all the Ravens needed him to do. They knew the defense was going to lock up, but Trent Dilfer or whoever they had at quarterback.
Yeah, if it wasn't for that play, they would have lost that game.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
It would have been 9-6. They'd have lost that game 9-6.
Tony Saragusa.
Oh, yes. Messed it up too. Yeah, and RIP to him. You know, he just passed.
Yeah, so we'll I mean, Shannon Sharp, man, that's my number 1, man. He not only did he excel at a position that he had to change to, but I mean, shit, the man could talk. The man could talk. And I feel like a lot of players today, get that talking smack and all that. They definitely get that from Shay Sharp.
You are killing the Patriots.
You saw Tyreek Hill do the same thing. Like, he got that direct. Yeah, no, man. Shay Sharp, my number 1.
Okay, I like that. We're gonna stay in the football lane too. This is a topic that I like personally myself, because everybody knows when you name the top quarterbacks, always Brady, Montana, Manning. Brady, Montana, Manning. You know, Montana, Brady, Manning. You know what I mean? It's always those 3, whichever order you want to put them in. Manning is never really number 1, but, you know, for the longest, I had Joe Cool as my number 1, no matter what. And that's me being a hardcore Cowboy fan that can't stand the Niners, but I have to give up props for their due. But for this, we're going to go top 5 quarterbacks not named Brady, Manning, or Montana. You know, and I'll start this one off for the party people in the place to be. We'll go with my number 5. My number 5, I'm going with Aaron Rodgers. Because I personally, have never seen anyone who could throw a ball and flip their wrist and be so accurate with the football.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
For him, I'll never forget playoffs. I think Dax. Was that Dak?
Their rookie year. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And Aaron Rodgers threw a damn football. I don't know,
Cook.
about 40 yards. Yeah, about 40 yards down the field. And I swear the ball did like a screwball, went in, and it came back out and landed right in Cook's hand. And the dude is a magician with the ball. You know what I mean? I don't know why the Green Bay Packers have had 30 years straight of Hall of Fame quarterback play and only one Super Bowl. That's another topic. But you know what I'm saying? Aaron Rodgers, definitely, he's my number 5. And that dude, he's probably one of the sweetest quarterbacks I've seen as far as just being able to throw the ball and be accurate. Number 4, I got old horse face, man. John Elway, man. John Elway, great athlete. You know what I mean? I believe he played shortstop for the Yankees too. I'm not sure if it's shortstop or another position. But Elway, he played for the Yankees. He was like, if the Colts, if you guys draft me, I'm not playing. I'd rather play MLB than come to your team. And they worked that trade out. He got to Denver. But the dude, man, 2-time Super Bowl champ, he had to get a running game to get there. But 9-time Pro Bowl player, packed-in player. You know what I mean? The dude, he's probably the grittiest, hardest quarterback I've seen. And I remember I was on the sidelines on the field doing security at a 49ers Broncos preseason game. And I promise you, when I saw how big John Elway was in pads, I was just like, you know what? I'm glad I gave up playing football in college, because if a quarterback is that damn size and looking at the size I am, I'm like, I don't want no parts of it, And then number 3, I'm going through the quickest release ever in the game, Mr. Dan Marino. That man had I don't know, I don't know. Now I can't say Brady, because Brady gets rid of the ball. He just drops back, gets set, gets rid of the ball, so you can't sack him. But Marino, his release was just like, it's something that you'd have to see to believe. The dude, he's another flick of the wrist guy, but it was just different. You know what I mean? Aaron Rodgers is more smooth. Marino's is more sharp, but he is a great quarterback. But another one went to the Super Bowl, I believe, in either his rookie year or his second year. Never got back again. Yeah, I think he was either the first quarterback to throw for 5,000 yards. I believe.
Yeah, I think that might have been. Yeah, I don't know if he's he might have been. Yeah, I think he.
Yeah, but he was putting up numbers before numbers were, a factor, with him, Duper and Clayton just throwing the ball all over the yard, And then number 2, I got my man Warren Moon. You know what I mean? Who does not nearly get the credit he deserves. You know what I mean? He won 5 Grey Cups over in in order to be an NFL quarterback, not get drafted out of University of Washington, even though I believe, yes, he was the Pac-8 before his Pac-10. His Pac-8 player of the year, had to go to Canada, win 5 Grey Cups, and then 2 Grey Cup MVPs, and had to prove himself there before coming to the NFL and throwing for another 49,000 yards. You know what I mean? On top of the 22,000 he got in the CFL. And he is another dude, very smooth. He had a cannon on him, could just throw the ball naturally, no effort. And then my number 1, let me see, Raider Mike, who do you think my number 1 is, man?
Damn, it ain't a Cowboy. It might be Roger Staubach. No,
there it
ain't
is.
a Cowboy.
Man, it's Roger. Roger the
Roger
Dodger.
Staubach. How do I not know? How do I not know that?
I knew you would know. That's why I asked you.
I know.
Staubach, he was Captain Comeback. He's the reason why the Cowboys are America's team is because of Roger Staubach. You know what I mean? He had all those comeback victories. He won the Heisman coming out of Navy. I mean, what person from the Navy is winning the Heisman Trophy? You know what I mean? Roger came in the league, got him 2 Super Bowls, and it was Captain Comeback. Those years, me growing up in the 70s, being a Cowboys fan, he was the quarterback that made me a Cowboys fan. He was that guy. So there it is for me. Top 5, not named LA, Brady, Manning, or Montana. Raider Lady 19. Let's jump to you. Who you
Yes,
got?
yes. I love drivers of the ball. I like people who got cannons. All right. So man, those who play baseball are all right with me for the most part because I just like the way they deliver the ball. I start off number 5 is Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman,
that.
To me, just he to me was just smooth. He can fire the football. All right. I like quarterbacks who can throw receivers open, even when they don't look open. Troy Aikman could do that. He had, Alvin Harper over there. He had the playmaker. He had Jay Novacek. He tossed it around, man. I just thought he had a really beautiful game. The way he played quarterback, he was tough. He came in, got his ass kicked, and still just stood in the pocket. I like quarterbacks who stand in the pocket and deliver a football. And Troy Aikman is that dude. Number 4, I have Dan Marino, another one who fires the football. Like you said, quick release. From here. It's from here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's not a huge wind up, but it was just like from here, and it just came out like a rocket. And beautiful thrower of the football. My number 3 is Warren Moon, another one. He had a big wind up, but boy, he get on top of you though. He get on top of you. Okay, straight laser, get on top of you. Just a beautiful thrower of the football. Like you said, he spent 6 years not playing, and he's still like in the top 5 or like all-time yardage.
Exactly.
6 years.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Because just with the original run and shoot offense, stood in that shotgun. To me, he was one of the first quarterbacks who just really dominated the shotgun, that formation, and just littered the football all over the place. Let me give you who else. I lost my spot. Hold on, give me a second. Number 2, right? Okay. Number 2. This is a little bit different, but Brett Favre. Brett Favre is another one.
Oh, Favre.
Okay. Fire the football. He had no conscience.
Favors.
Yes, no conscience. Okay. He's gonna throw it. He to me, I just love he threw into the smallest of tightest of windows. He just did, it didn't matter if he threw 2 or 3 touchdowns. He's gonna come back and go throw 5 touchdowns though, and take a smack at the same time and just deliver the football time in and time out. And like I said, I just love quarterbacks firing.
We used to love him, the Cowboys in the 90s, because he will throw it to the wrong color.
Yeah,
jersey.
he will. Yeah. He will. Like I said, he'll give you opportunity to take 2 or 3. But man, I just like the way he delivered the football. He was just, he was unafraid. To me, I don't like overly cautious quarterbacks. He was just gonna let it loose and let the chips fall where they may. And the number 1 is that guy from Denver is John Elway, another former baseball player who can fire the football, pinpoint accuracy. To me, was one of the best pre-readers outside of like Joe Montana, who was a pre-read quarterback, really good at reading defenses before the ball was ever snapped. So he always knew he was going. He never looked panicked.
Yeah.
Calm, real calm, and fire the ball. You always knew that you had a chance to win. They had a chance to win every time he was back there because he was just cool, calm, and collected and just fires the ball. So that's
I believe, didn't he, was he the creator as far as on the field of the 2-minute drill? That shit that he did against the Browns, right?
He became famous for it.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. Architect. Give me 5.
All right, man. So starting off, my number 5 is Drew Brees. I think on the field, man, granted in his older years, he didn't have the arm that he once had, but he was always, hella accurate. You know what I'm saying? I love a quarterback who's accurate. You know what I'm saying? he occasionally he would throw the deep ball, but that was never his strong suit. His strong suit was, I'm gonna get the ball to you. Just know it's gonna hit you in your hands. You feel me? Like that was Drew Brees to me. Number 4, I don't know, man. It was kind of a toss-up for me. Uh, I put Warren Moon there. You know what I'm saying? Someone who, again, like Raider Lady said, he didn't have the quickest windup, but that thing was gonna get there, and it's gonna get there quick.
Yeah.
I follow a lot of black quarterbacks, especially growing up, because I played football or whatever, and I wanted to be a quarterback. So outside of looking at you and all these other guys, Warren Moon was one that stuck out because of the fact that I just like the Houston Oilers jerseys. So I used to walk around, you know what I'm saying, playing backyard football, looking at my friends like, watch, I'm gonna be Warren Moon. And I just try to throw that thing just like him. Number 3, man, for me, I had to put Brett Favre. Again,
Brett getting some love out in these streets.
Yeah, man. I mean, Brett was different, man. He played with like he just didn't care. Like he was one of those I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Granted, he'll throw 3 or 4 picks, whatever. But I remember what was it? His year on his first year on the Vikings. I think that's when he led him to the playoffs and they lost to the Saints when Adrian Peterson fumbled the ball. But I was like, damn, this man old as hell, but he's still launching that thing, man. You know what I'm saying? I think he was like 38, 39, something like that. Might have even been 40. But like, man, that was crazy to me. Like it was just crazy to see someone that old still have that much arm strength and can just launch that thing. Especially that's when they had Percy Harvin. Percy Harvin, he's a deep threat. Number 2, I got Dan Marino. I mean, that's why I wore the Miami jersey. You know what I'm saying? Dan Marino, just looking at the highlights, looking at the stats, like he is what if he was mobile, he might have won a Super Bowl. But realistically, Dan Marino, I'm talking about the quickest release that I've seen outside of Aaron Rodgers. Someone who is also accurate. And I mean, playing in Miami, it ain't easy, man. It's humid and all that, but he was the leader of that team, man. Very loyal as well. So Dan Marino's my number 2. And number 1 is as Stephen A. Smith would say, that bad man up in Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers. I've never seen someone throw such a pretty football with ease. You know what I mean? Like, and granted, he had to sit. I don't know how he fell to Green Bay, which he really shouldn't have. Which I'm sure a lot of teams look over and be like, "What the hell did I do?" But Aaron Rodgers, man, I'm talking about the man makes throwing the football look so easy, makes it look so effortless. Like you said, the flick of the wrist and that thing going 50, 60 yards, man. You've seen him with a few Hail Mary bombs to win some games, man. And I don't know, and he always hits them in that bucket, in that pocket. I feel like, I don't know, man. There's not a lot I can say, but Aaron Rodgers is my number 1, man. I feel like, yeah, he my number 1.
Artist with the football. To me, it was like
an
artist.
Yeah, he's like, he had that thing on the string.
Those 2 quarterbacks, Alex Smith went number 1. He fell all the way down. I always used to say
24.
Right. I always used to say Alex Smith was robotic. He was he was like a scientist, but Aaron was an artist. Yes. It just flows. You know
Aaron
what I'm saying?
Like
he just
Picasso.
Back pedal and throw it and
off his back foot, like roll the left, roll the right. It just didn't matter.
Yes, indeed. All right, Raider Mike.
Yeah, I'm
top 5, man.
Well, we're gonna go. So I'm gonna go with number 5 with Medicine Face John Elway. Because he was great. I mean, that fool had a cannon, though. He had a cannon. I got to give him credit. He shredded up Cleveland Browns in a 2-minute drill like it was confetti. And thanks to Ernest Biner, thanks to Kevin Mack. So you know what I'm saying. They don't have him give up the rock. They had one, but anyway, I'm gonna give John Elway his credit. He won 2 Super Bowls. He was a great quarterback. I mean, he had a superior arm. He had arm talent. He could run. I mean, he could do whatever it took to win a football game. And he displayed that in the Super Bowl against Green Bay when he launched his body and knew he was going to take that hit to get that damn first down, put him in position to get that win, get that touchdown, that winning touchdown. You know what I'm saying? They go ahead. So I noticed that. I saw that in that game. That was the first Super Bowl. No, it was the second one. No, it was the first one because he launched. You remember he launched his body, got that first down.
Helicopter.
Yeah, he was a helicopter flying for real. So that's my number 5, and he was a Raider killer. And you know, man, I didn't like that.
Give his props.
Anyway, yeah, but yeah, you got to give him. You got to recognize greatness. So he was great. Number 4 for me, and this is y'all all slept on him. Everybody slept on Dan Fouts. How can Dan Fouts not be in there? He with that Air Coryell system that they had, he was explosive. Man, he had John Jefferson, Wes Chandler, Charlie Joyner, Kellen Winslow, Chuck Muncie. You could go a little James. Look at all these players he had. He just, man, that man was a technician passer, man. He was like, to me, he was one of the greatest passers of all time to me. I like Dan Fouts. You know, I hated when he was kill the Raiders sometimes. We used to get him too, though. But you know,
he had that drop back. Remember
he did look like he was shaking up some damn dice in 2 hands or something, huh? Look like he was shaking up a damn dice game or something in 2 hands, though. But you know what I'm saying. But you know what I'm saying. But he was great. But you got to give him credit where credit is due. He was.
I'll drink to that one. I forgot about him. I forgot about him.
I know you forgot about him. You know, I didn't because he's killed the Raiders. So how could I forget about him?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Dan Fouts was great. Came out of Oregon. You know, you got to give him his credit. I mean, the dude was great. But my 3rd quarterback, and really could have probably been my number 1 if he had played in the NFL. We all on the same page on my boy Warren Moon, who threw the prettiest deep pass that you ever want to see. He threw the tightest spiral that I've ever seen. That deep ball was on point and it was always accurate. He didn't just throw the deep ball accurate. He threw he could throw that 20-yard out on the. I mean, it's a laser. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't, and take it for granted, he really never had the top-notch wide receivers that, like the Chargers are the top-notch tight ends. You know, who you can't even name the tight end. I mean, that
only receiver I can remember is Ernest Givens. I don't know
Ernest Givens. Yeah, Ernest Givens and Houston. There's other dudes, but if you really Hayward, something, whatever I did. But anyway, you can't really even name. He was just throwing the no names and put up them numbers, man.
Big number.
That's why if Warren Moon would have came 5 years earlier, whatever, 6, whatever it took him to get to the NFL, he would have had owned the NFL passing yardage record.
He might have been higher hands down everybody's list if they could have held on to that 38-3 lead.
Yeah, well, that wasn't his fault. That wasn't his fault. That was the defense fault.
I know.
Old buddy was firing on fools on the sideline on that. Fired on Gilbert. So, okay. But my number 2, and I got to give it to the man with the quickest release ever, is Dan Marino. Dan Marino was great. He stood in that pocket, and man, it just looked like I'm about to see somebody about to sack him. He said, "Oh, you about to get sacked." That ball was out of his hands, man.
Yep.
I mean, the person could be in his face like this. And that ball, and the ball is a laser to Duper Clayton. You can't tell me he would have been my number 1, but he didn't win no Super Bowls. And it's not his fault. They didn't have a defense, is why he never got back to his another Super Bowl, because Miami was no defense. Yep. That's why he never got back. And my number 1, and it's gonna be a surprise to y'all, and I gotta give it to him though, man. Pound for pound, he is the greatest passer to me that I've seen, is Drew Brees. And I'm gonna give it to Drew Brees. I don't care about.
Boy, I thought you was about to say Doug Flutie.
Hey, listen, hell no. 6 feet for a 6. Hey, listen, for a 6 feet or maybe 5'11", us 6 feet, say 5'11" with some now laters in his pants, socks or something. And he about 5'11", he about my height, really. But that's my number 1. I gotta get. I mean, because if it was in terms of not putting the other quarterbacks in, Drew Brees has to be number That's how I look at it. I mean, he could hit. I mean, he didn't throw it. He could throw the deep ball in his younger time, younger years, but he always was accurate. The ball was hitting them hands, hitting them in stride, and he had mental toughness, and he was a winner. But you got to say he's a winner. I had Drew Brees. That's my number one.
Okay, and there's so many more. You know what I mean?
There's so many more, but we
I was mad. I
could
have put
Randall
Aaron
Cunningham.
McNair. I don't know, Aaron McNair, Randall Cunningham.
Damn, we forgot.
Mike Vick. I mean, you could just Mike Vick had the quick release too. He had the Mike Vick experience. There's just so many we could.
I think that leans into more.
Randall Cunningham who gave birth to all of them quarterbacks.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm glad I didn't hear on none of y'all list, Joe Namath, because he was honestly trash.
Yeah, Joe is overrated, man.
He is garbage. That man
won that Super Bowl.
He's been living off that Super Bowl for.
Hey, he did do it though, but he did call it.
Yeah,
that's the
called
his fame.
Called his shot. You know what I mean?
But after that shot, he got shot. Like
his knees was shot.
That's tearing the knees up.
His knees was. I think if he didn't have his knees was shot. They were severely shot.
Maybe he should have wore the pantyhose that he was over there sponsoring.
Yeah, I remember he did that too. Yeah, he had the big old chinchilla coat on.
There's so many more. I mean, what about Jim Kelly? I mean, there's a lot more.
Yeah,
Jim Kelly would have been there for me.
I'll tell you why, because that fool couldn't win a Super Bowl.
I say he lost 4 in a row. So
he went 4 times and came up empty.
But to get there though. To get
there,
it is.
But in the
nobody else
stage,
has ever done it. Nobody else has ever done it, and nobody else will ever do it again because Buffalo was kicking everybody but at that time.
Yeah,
except for they couldn't beat the Cowboys.
They ran into the wrong buzz saw. My boys is
twice though.
Dynasty was cracking. They should have won when they had the wide left. That was the only chance they had.
No, the first one they should have won.
Yep, that was it. But we gonna stay in the league. We're gonna stay in the NFL. You know what I mean? And gotta get to the dirty portion and go back again to my boy Deshaun, man. We gotta get back on that. We've been laughing and giggling. Now we gotta get our serious face on now, Well, I guess good for him. 20 of the 24 suits were settled out of court, whatever. But there's 4 more pending, including the original female. What was her name? Ashley Solis. She's steadfast in hers, so she's going forward. And it's crazy because I remember reading an article because the real big thing was him to the Dolphins. He was gonna go to the Miami Dolphins, and there were 24 suits then, but 22 of the 24 were set to be settled, but the Dolphins didn't want to go forward with the suit because the other 2 females, they didn't want to settle. So that's what got them out of the deal and what got him back to going to the Browns. So, man, this thing right here is the gift that just keeps on giving. And we'll start off with Raider Lady 19 as the lady of the show. You know what I mean? Enlighten us.
What hasn't been said about this already? I mean, they're about to come down on him. Like I said, I thought it was gonna be 4 games, but they look like they about to make a statement with him.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about indefinitely, whatever that means, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, until he get those other 4 taken care of, I don't even know if he's gonna play this year. It's a possibility he will not play this season. 2 seasons out of his prime of his career due to his lack of discipline.
But he got that bag.
You know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate. It's like I said, it's not much more I can add to it because I've already said what I said about dude.
No.
But it's unfortunate. I don't know. I don't think he's gonna play this year. I think he's gonna be out. I think if he does, I'll be surprised. Because look like the last girls they all have the same lawyer, I believe. The last 4, they all have the same lawyer.
They all 24.
All 24. Okay. So these last 4, they want to ante up on the money, clearly.
Yeah.
I'm saying they won't double whatever the case is, they're holding out.
Yeah.
And he just need to go ahead and sell it. I don't know what he resists. I don't know what that is, but you need to go ahead and make that happen so you can move forward with your life. Because right now, the more it wanes in the, it sits in the air, it just don't look good, and that will wear thin. That wear that organization's patience will wear thin. That costs them money. You know what I'm saying? You are the quarterback. So yeah, so he need to go ahead and take care of that ASAP.
Yes, indeed. Raider Mike, what do you think, man?
Sum it up, that fool getting squeezed for his cheese. And that's really on him for his, not being able to keep his dick under control. It's unfortunate. I think he's gonna get suspended at least. If he don't get suspended the whole season, he's gonna just get suspended at least 10 games. If it's not the whole season, because man, I mean, them other four was left over. Them all the Texans girls. I'm telling you, the Texans still. I don't care if they trying to be out of it. They got something to do with this shit. They got some of them girls. These last four. I'm telling you, they didn't. They said we're gonna get you. It's like on Roots when what's the name said, Mr. Reynolds, take it easy on you, Toby. But sooner or later, I'm gonna get shot. So that's how I feel about that right there.
That's the Reynolds.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I love Deshaun Watson as a quarterback, Greg. I know I know he done let you down a little bit now. I know some of that joy that you had for him, Gregory, is in left field. And I know you said, I'm glad I still got Dak overtaking somebody who's gonna cost Jerry some money. So I mean, it's just no excuse for that. I mean, I knew it when it kept coming, what kept getting all this stuff. I said, damn, I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm tired. So I hope we don't have to keep talking about this fool. But like I said, if you got it, you got to pay it. He would never be in this situation right now is if he just paid them girls when he was whatever he was doing. That's called just trying to be
in a situation if he'd have kept his Peter in his pocket.
Yeah, that too. If he'd have did that, or if that's what he wanted to do here, girl, here's 10 grand right here. I bet we won't be talking right now. We won't be talking right now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's just a poor decision making. He made some bad choices, man. That was 24 bad choices. How can you do that much? That's too much.
Shit, 66 bad choice. Well, I think he reached out to like 66 or something like that.
Well, dang, that fool is the modern day horno, huh? Well, damn. But anyway, I'm not trying to be cold, but man, I like Deshaun Watson. But I'm just glad he wasn't on our team when he did this. Because damn, the Raiders, we already have enough as it is. We couldn't have nothing like this.
Sell the team, boy.
Yeah, the Italians would have told him, "Hey, we got to sell the freaking team." But anyway, I wish him well. I hope that he don't get suspended for the whole year because he just did a whole year already. Yeah. I don't think he's warranted to get a whole year, but I say 10. I'm gonna say he's gonna get 10 games though. Okay. 10 games and some change, and spend 10 games and spend all that change.
Yeah. Architect.
Yeah, man.
What you thinking, man?
I'm glad he settled. I'm glad he settled those 20, but he needs to get those last couple taken care of. Honestly, I don't think the NFL should suspend him indefinitely or even a year, truth be told. Give him that 8 to 10 games, 6 to 10 game suspension. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the man's already dealt with enough. Not saying that, I'm saying I'm okaying anything that he's done. But I mean, shit. I don't even know how to say this, man. I mean, shit. Well, I don't know how to say this politically correct, so I'm just saying the man suffered a lot himself. You know what I'm saying? Gone through everything that he's gone through. But at the end of the day, he should settle everything. And the NFL should only suspend him like 10 games, man. I feel like banning him a whole nother year is not going to change the fact of what he did. Right. Suspending him indefinitely isn't going to change the fact of what he did, him not keeping his dick in his pants. You know what I'm saying? The only thing you're really doing, and the NFL likes to protect their shield, but I mean, shit, if you look at it, Deshaun Watson was one of your highest jersey sellers as is, and he was on the Texans. So you kind of losing money in a sense like that. But I don't know, man. I really hope all this gets resolved because again, like y'all, I'm tired of talking about this. You know what I'm saying? I get it. He did what he did, but he still got paid. Well, make him pay up, like which he has been. You know what I'm saying? Just make the man pay up. You know what I'm saying? Shit. And yeah, suspend him 10 games, man. It's not like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie, with him being at Cleveland, I don't think they would have been great his first year. You know what I'm saying? They would have been better, but I don't see him, you know what I'm saying? Just let the man serve his little suspension, get the rest of those settlements taken care of, man, and keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? And just if you're gonna try to make an example out of him, use him as more so a poster child of what not to do. You know what I'm saying? Don't necessarily throw this man's name into the dirt because he was
It's already there.
Even more in the dirt. Even more in the dirt. You know what I'm saying? Don't you know what I'm saying? Bury that thing to the core. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like at some point he will have some type of redemption or whatever. He already came out and said something about like I saw something in one of his interviews that after OTAs, I think he was doing something with his girlfriend, and then there was like a little mini article that Deshaun Watson has a girlfriend. Whatever, bro. Let the man live his life, bro.
Here we go. This is the thing with it, man. Y'all know through the course of this thing, I let it be known, like, I really like him as a quarterback play on the field, all that. But then there's the thing as far as accountability. He has to be whatever they throw at him, just take it and deal with it. If they suspend him at a point, I used to be like, man, I can't suspend him for a whole year, like what's that gonna do? He'd be off for 2 years, or just thinking in football terms rather than the human development as a person term. Now, Raider Lady 19, she threw something in the atmosphere a couple of weeks ago where I never really even tripped off of. Like, man, when she said sexual deviant, I'm like, really shit. That's what he is. Regardless, maybe a good guy. Sometimes good people have bad traits. And that's a bad trait of his. But they can be fixed. You know what I mean? I think because one thing I've been paying a very, very close attention to is the word rape has not been thrown into this. So, and that's not good nor bad. I'm not saying nothing. I'm not saying he's good for that or whatever, but he's not out there forcing himself on these females per se to the point where he's strong-arming anything. But he may be manipulating situations to do whatever. Some females is down, some not. He's still wordplay, doing what he's doing. So all that shit has to be stopped, regardless. And he has to learn the lessons from his actions and what he's been doing. And he's got the richest contract in NFL history. Guess what, bro? You're going to have to give up some of that bread to pay for your sins. That's how I look at it. That's what it is. He's paid 20 and whatever it takes, because I believe that NFL suspends him for a whole year. He's still going to make 40-something million in the year that he's suspended. So give up some of that cheese,
That's
man.
Crazy.
You're going to have to do like Robert Kraft, or if Jerry Jones, anybody, when they get jammed up, they pay their way out of situations, and that's what he has to do. We have to hope that young man has learned from this situation.
Oh, yeah, shit.
I mean, and
we the same age, man. Like,
I believe he will. I mean, man, look, Kobe learned. You know what I'm saying? Like, he made a mistake. You know what I'm saying? Although I think he may have been set up and everything, he was all set up on that day, you know what I'm saying? But regardless of the fact that man had redemption, he came back and was a better man for it. And Deshaun Watson, because of you, 24 young women are going to be millionaires and they will be living their life better. Hopefully you learned your lesson, man, and you can move forward. I don't even give a damn. Suspend them for a year. Yeah, whatever. I mean, a year seems to be what's going to make the NFL look like they give a damn, and what may make women feel like that's enough, even though some women are like, fuck that. Suspend them 2 years and take away all his money. But a year,
he ain't raped nobody.
It seems like a year is where it's going to be at. That's what I'm thinking. If it's less, then I'm going to be like, damn, the NFL don't give a damn. They're like, fuck everybody. We are the NFL and we don't care what you think. I don't think they want to come off like that. So that's my take on that.
They're gonna do the Daniel Snyder shit.
Man, they let Ben Roethlisberger get railroad rape.
Yeah, but Daniel Snyder, what about him?
Hey, they both got the complexion for the protection with the
exactly.
Connection. You know what I'm saying?
That's a whole nother conversation for a whole.
As the great Paul Mooney would say.
They got that shield protection.
Mm-hmm. And they also got that protection. But let's keep it pushing. You know what I mean? Then we got some sad news, NFL news, man. We had the Goose. The Goose passed away, man. Young dude, man. Goose was what? 55 years old, man. That's young, even though he's a big guy. You know, the Goose passed away, and Jalen Ferguson, another Raven, at the age of 26, passed away, man. Like, I say rest in paradise to both of them. You know what I mean? But man, this seems like NFL, like sports period, death is just like a lot of that's been happening lately. You know, Mike, what you
Portland Trailblazers.
Yeah, what you got on that?
Well, I forget what's the guy's name for the Portland Trailblazers. He also passed. He was like only 25.
Swearington or Swanson, what was his name?
I forget the guy's name.
Swanigan.
Yeah, and he was only 20, and he was only 25. Rest in peace, and you know, prayers and out to him and his family, and the same to the Jordan Ferguson and Tony Saragosa. You know, he's the big goose, the big cheese that laid on top of on Gannon and crushed his librum, and took that Super Bowl berth from us.
yeah, man.
He laid on him and got up off the ground and just pounced on him. I like that fool's shoulder is shot. You know, but
you can see that when he landed on him.
Yeah, but the thing was about the whole thing, you ever seen the replay, the NFL, that they let him, the whistle had blew and they just still let him go. And I was like, where the fix is in? So, but he was he was great for what he carried out, the mission and assignments, what the Ravens had him do. And you got to give him credit for that. He was a hell of a nose tackle because he required two blockers to block him. So, but rest in peace to him. And like I said, my condolences to him and his family. And he's gone way too early, only 55, 2 years older than me. I just say, hey, you know, I just want to live, and hopefully I can, you know, it is not a given for any of us. So that's all.
Yeah. What do you think about Jalen Ferguson?
That was a shock. I mean, I was shocked. I was really shocked when I heard that, because it came on my phone and I was like, huh? I said, how did that? You know, it's crazy, man. These young players are dying. See, you know, the young people would think they're invincible. These people, you know, what's the name? Jeff Gladney, that was in a car accident. I hated to hear that too. But you know, they're young. I don't know. Remember how did Jordan Ferguson pass? That part it didn't say on there when I looked at it.
Jalen Ferguson.
Yeah, Jordan. Yeah,
well,
Jalen Ferguson. So
speculation is overdose, but it's not confirmed.
Well, dang. See, that's that fentanyl and all of this stuff. These youngsters are taking these pills. They're popping these pills, and that's like suicide. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a suicide mission to take these pills, or what else they do? They do the pills, they do the syrup, they do, you know, it's just sad that we have not. I don't know if they've been. I don't know, man. You can properly, you know, teach these kids, hey, you know, your life, you only got one life. You have to live it right. You gotta live it cautiously sometimes. You can't just go on that wild side and just say, forget it. It's whatever. It's now that people are dying. And it's really upsetting. It's alarming to me to see that he died, he's passed, and all of these other ones, because I just think that sometimes the youngsters are invincible, or don't think you can die. Well, shoot, we young or not, you know what I'm saying? Die young, you die old, but the object is for all us to die old, not young.
Yeah, with some grandkids. But,
yeah, you want some grandkids, you want to have you want to have that old baller tummy and sit back by the fireplace and enjoy your grandkids. And then you, like I said, you like Deion Sanders put it best. If you didn't hear Deion said, he said, well, live well, eat well, sleep well, die well. That's how I want to die.
Okay, I like that. Architect, what you think, man? You're a youngster.
Jalen Ferguson, man, like Raider Mike, I was surprised because already surrounding, the Ravens, man, they had to deal with a lot of injuries, and he actually played really well for them. Um, Although they said like they don't suspect foul play was there or no foul play or trauma, saying that if it was an overdose, man, whatever he was taking, even if it was something is that he was prescribed, what I'm saying, through the medical team, I feel like we should really look into especially when it comes to athletes, um, looking into more of like a natural way of things. I think we should do that with all medicine, man. You know what I'm saying? I think there should be a more natural way, whether, what I'm saying, it comes to healing yourself or whatever, if that's the case. Now, if it's the case of him, like, being addicted to, certain pills or whatever, then, those steps should also be taken into the fact to where, um, there should be ways to where he should have more outlets of finding help instead of running to those, demons and those running into those things that, that really consume you. Especially being so young, man. I mean, shit, we're the same age, bro. Like, and it's crazy to think that a lot of in the last few years, a lot of people my age are just passing, man. I feel like I'm lucky at this point. Like, you know what I'm saying, in a sense. My condolences out to the family, man. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss for words for that one. And then as far as Goose, Tony Saragusa, first time I ever learned about Goose was watching the very first what's that show that the NFL does during training camp?
Hard Knocks.
Yeah, the Ravens, very first team to do Hard Knocks. Watching him and Shannon Sharp clown each other and go back and forth, and I just seen like I didn't necessarily watch the Ravens, or watch the Ravens, football like that outside of Shannon Sharp, but I saw more so the other side of Goose, more so like he was funny, loved his family, all that stuff. And again, at 55, that's still young, man. You know what I'm saying? That's not like, my age, but it's still young. 55 is, what I'm saying, it's not up there. Heart goes out to his family. I know it's got to be tough losing a parent, losing a brother, a father, whatever. So yeah, my condolences out to them, man. It's tough. It's tough to lose someone.
Yes, indeed. Raider lady.
Yes.
What do you think?
Big Goose. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I tell you, every time you hear about someone that we know through sports or whatever the case, somebody famous, when they pass, it always just reminds you of your own mortality. We all born to die, so to speak. So, but you never know what your insides are doing. That's what it just always reminds me. It's like, try to take care of yourself the best you can, because you cannot see on the inside what is happening, what's transforming, or whatever the case may be. Heck of a football player. It was weird. I was just talking about him last week. I was talking to my husband about him, like in the prospects of us getting Ndamukong Suh. I was like, and I said, we need somebody like Big Goose who can eat up blockers to allow their linebackers to run free. And that's what I remember from them in 2000, those years with the Ravens, is like Peter Boulware, Jamie Sharper and Ray Lewis just running all over the field because they had so many lanes to run through, because people like Sarah Goosen and them was just eating up blockers. And that's, he was the true epitome, like one of those big nose tackles, him, Vincent Wilfork, those types. Yeah, he was a big, they were a defense right up the middle, literally up the middle, from defensive tackle to middle linebacker to their safety, and they were dominant. All three of those levels were extremely dominant, and it started with him up front. So, like you said, in that horrendous, him falling on Gannon and no flag being thrown, purposely, you could see him put his weight on him and just put his weight on him purposely. Just like he would be kicked out of the game today for doing that. He would literally,
100%.
Out of the game, suspension, probably miss a game or two because it was that intentional. You can see that how he did that because he knew everybody knew Gannon was the glue to that team. So, but that's unfortunate. The other young man, they still haven't officially ruled what the cause of death was. So that's going to be interesting. But I always say with young people, they got this thing what I call a personal fable. A personal fable meaning that when you're young, you're untouchable, you're invincible, and it's not when you're an athlete. On top of that, yeah, you got your Superman cape on. You're like you can do anything, you can be involved in anything, and you will be all right. You'll be able to bounce back. And this stuff that's out here today. If that's the case, of him messing around, you got to understand you can't touch it. You can't touch it because you don't know. It's a roll of the dice for real, for real. You got stuff out here that is extremely potent. You touch it, you might go. Literally, you might touch it, you might go.
Yeah.
So these youngsters, like I said, all these incidents that be happening with young folks is because they have a personal fable. They think they are invincible, and they're not. Nobody is. Anybody can be touched.
Yep. Hey, Tupac said that the best, huh?
Right. He can be touched.
So the Phoenix, he said, what's her name? The Phoenix Shakur, RIP. She said the one thing that her son used to tell her that she wished that he didn't heed to so much was the fact that anybody could be touched. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. And on that, man, I think you guys summed that up. Excellent. I have really nothing to add to that. But something that I saw lately that really kind of touched my heart was, I know you guys remember Chris Henry, the wide receiver for the Bengals, you know what I mean, who got into it with his baby mama.
Yeah,
he was
and he fell off the truck.
Fell off the truck, but Pac-Man Jones, adopted his son, and his son is a spitting image of him. Looks just like his daddy, Chris Henry Jr., taking all his trips to all these colleges. He went to the University of Miami. I don't know if he's going to sign with Miami and crystal ball, whatever, but, it looks like he may. And I was like, that's a great story. See Pac-Man stepping up, for his teammate and adopting his son and going on with his college trips. And hopefully make it happen for the young man. You know what I mean? He can live out
Chris Henry was
dreams. Chris Henry was raw. He was on his way.
He was good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was tight. Him and TJ Hushmanshada.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. TJ Who's your mama?
I know them. They was boys right there.
Henry hit that front. Didn't he hit a front flip in a game? I think he was the receiver for the Bengals. I think. He hit like a little front flip after he made a catch. It was nice, man. So that was a good heartwarming story. But next up, we're gonna wrap up the show with our 3 minutes of funk, where we let everybody get off on whatever is on their mind for 3 minutes. And anybody want to start it off? Or y'all want me to start it off? How y'all want to do it?
It don't matter. It don't matter. It don't really matter because
I'll go first then. I'll go.
You go first then.
I'm about to be like Mr. Fab. I'm a freestyle. You know what I mean? Usually I have something written out long and I kind of improvise on my words, but for this one, I just had something on my mind, man. And that was hold up. I did write down a little bit about it. I'm sorry. But I'm still gonna freestyle. But it was about Kyrie Irving. Kyrie, man, everybody's making this dude out to be this villain, and it's just kind of it. I'm not gonna say it breaks my heart because I can give a damn as far as like really, but I hate how the media is making this dude seem like he's like some sort of selfish sociopath or something. When the dude is really, he's in tune with himself as a human being, and basketball is not his priority, but he wants top dollar for his talent, for what he brings to the table. And they make him seem like he's selfish because he won't take the jab or whatever. But look, it's so crazy to me that he didn't take the jab, right? But before his team started the playoffs, they made sure that you didn't have to be to play in the home games. So they bend the rules so he can play. You know what I mean? Based off of, and it's frustrating to me, this whole thing. And listening to the man talk, the one thing I hate is when someone is dismissed as crazy. Like when people don't understand you and they dismiss you and they call you crazy, that's because they're too lazy and they don't want to think themselves. They're like, I don't even want to get, if this is a surface level, Kyrie's either way down here, too deep for them to understand, or way up here, too elevated for them to understand. One of those two. And people who don't want to do their homework and just don't want to really see where the man's coming from, to see where, like what his motive is or what his motivation is to be who he is. And I look at it like this. To sum all this up, sounds like I'm freaking babbling, but to sum it all up, I just feel like that man is like, I have a talent and I know my talent is great. I'm going to use this talent to monetize and do what I need to do. At the same time, I'm not going to let anybody freaking use this and be like, all right, we'll take that away from you. We'll take your money away from you if you don't acquiesce to what we want you to do. So I'm like, kudos to him. You know what I mean? I want him to, whoever he's with, if he stays with Brooklyn, stay there, do your thing. If he opts out, because I think he has till Tuesday, I believe, to opt out of his deal. And some team, like they're talking about the Lakers, it's like, AD and Westbrook for Simmons and Kyrie. That's something that's out there. And if I'm a Lakers fan, do you take that?
No.
I don't know. That's your team. I don't know.
You take what? You take Kyrie?
Not as long as LeBron there.
If you're the Lakers, do you get rid of Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook and bring in Kyrie and Simmons?
No. Anthony Davis is a non-tradable.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that either, man. I'm not trading for Ben
I don't know.
Simmons.
I'm just asking.
He can come play for the mid-level exception for $6 million. He has enough money.
He ain't doing that.
Gonna do that.
He ain't doing that.
See, but that means he's short-sighted then. If he believes in himself, he's what, 27, 26 years old. He believes in himself. That man's gonna be able to cash out. He would have an opportunity to, like, the major story of redemption on many levels. With LeBron getting back with LeBron, making that happen after he said on the podcast that he made a mistake and he was young in the game. He didn't understand what they was building in Cleveland, so he could redo it back then. Then he can actually redeem himself for all the stuff that all the people have been running their mouth about him, to come to a team like that. And he has the Kobe connection because he's a Kobe guy. You know what I'm saying? He worked out with him. That was one of his guys. So it would be a heck of a story if he has that. I don't know if he has the cojones for that though.
Man, I don't think so. That man, he wants some of that bread.
Because he can get the bread. He can get the bread anytime. When you talented like him, you can get the money.
Yeah.
But hey, that's my 3 minutes. You know what I mean? My thing is like this. What I wanted anyone to take away from that is this is a highly intelligent black man. He knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? He's going to use basketball to get what he wants rather than have basketball use him to get what they want. And I could appreciate that. So that's my thing. Raider Lady 19, please enlighten us with something.
No, for sure. No, I like that though about Kyrie for real though, because I dig with him. I like his training. I like his thought pattern. I like how he thinks. I really do. He beats to his own drum. Mine is on golf. I'm going to golf, and I'm going with the new tour backed by the Saudi monarchy. It's a big upkick and a big dust up. The PGA has competition, real competition. It reminds me of the old school AFL versus the NFL. It reminds me of the USFL versus the NFL right now, because they got dollars and they got unlimited amount of dollars. Okay, they're not constrained to an institution. They are a monarchy, and they are an oil monarchy, so they can throw dollars at everybody, and that's what they're doing. Let's put it like this: PGA Tour has been hoarding the money that actually people like Tiger Woods who's been able to bring to that tour. They can amp that purse up a lot more, because they're only the top maybe 10 players on there make really, really good money. The rest of them, it's a grind. It is a grind to be a professional golfer.
So who was that golfer recently that got in trouble for that? Was that Mickelson or somebody?
Yeah, Phil said something. He was like, he said a thing like, everybody makes mistakes in relation to the Saudis in their human rights thing. But here's the hypocrisy. That's the whole thing. That's what I'm gonna bring up. It's his hypocrisy. I don't like when people do or say self-righteous things as if your hands are clean. And what I mean by that, that's comparing the Saudi government and the way that they run things and how they do things compared with any other government. Okay, with any other government.
Yeah,
ain't nobody. When you talk about foreign powers, ain't nothing sweet, ain't nothing nice, ain't nothing
nobody's
clean.
hands are clean.
All right, nobody's hands are clean of blood. So we're talking about blood. We're talking about how they do things in their oppressive state or whatever the case. So to claim human rights and you're doing bad things, no, your government does business with them.
Yep.
Okay, so you don't have no problem with that. Your country does business with China, and we know they have concentration camps. You have no problem with that. So I don't like the you got to just pony up, and they did, and they started to put more money inside of their FedEx Cup. Yeah, because you got to pay people. These organizations, whether it be any of these major bodies, NFL, NBA, MLB, none of them have been audited. When have any of these organizations been audited? Open up your books and we see how much money you really making. And then when you put that in comparison to what you paying these players, it's still peanuts. And that don't sound like when we think about contracts of 250 or A-Rod's guaranteed money or all these people, it's still in comparison to what these organizations are making. It's nothing. It is nothing. And they are the product. I believe in paying the product. So what I'm saying is, shout out to the players who just said, I'm going to go get my money.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that money, I'm not Tiger Woods. I'm not going to be a billionaire doing this. I'm not Phil Mickelson. I'm not BJ Singh. Those are there's only a handful of golfers who got big money. Like I said, golf is a contractor sport. They are contractors. They're individual contractors. So they don't get no base salary. They don't get none of that. And everybody ain't endorsement worthy. You know what I'm saying? So the bottom half of that people that's going out there and grinding is, they're going to go put some money in their pocket. And I ain't got no problem with that. And so shout out to the LV tour, and they're playing in the States too. And that's why they're mad too. They playing in Oregon this upcoming week. So they're playing on some of their, it's not PGA courses, because again, it's all in the, these are private courses, and if they want to do business with Saudi, they doing it. And so what you're gonna have to do, you're gonna have to ante up. You're gonna have to give them their money. Like I said, it reminds me of the USFL. What was they doing when they wanted Herschel Walker, when they wanted Steve Young? They were outbidding the NFL for those players.
Hey, okay? you know what's gonna happen next? You know how the Saudis do it. Some of them courses are gonna start looking real nice.
Tiger has courses in Saudi Arabia. Okay, so Tiger ain't got to play on that tour, but Tiger's gonna get paid from that tour. That's why he ain't saying nothing. He think he's slick. I understand what's going on, but but I like that. Money. I love to see the competition, man. It gives more people opportunity, and that's what all you want as an athlete is opportunity.
I love it. Since we on the Raider tip, we're gonna go to Raider Mike next. You know what I'm saying? We're going to let Architect wrap us up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, my 3 minutes of funk, I'm going to talk about what I said I was going to talk about, and who really put the really put the shield and that pirate on that Raiders helmet. And we all know that shield and that belongs to Mr. Al Davis, who really has gave more black players opportunities back in the 60s than any other coaches we can name. He had the first black quarterback. A lot of people don't know about that. I forget what that guy's name was, number 10. It was way back in the 60s. I remember that Al Davis gave that guy his first chance. Al Davis, he was a commissioner of the AFL. Look, that man was a coach, commissioner. Shoot, Al Davis was everything in it, you know what I'm saying, in the NFL. He did everything, you know what I'm saying? He even sued them twice and won it. Sued him for $1 on principal one time, but sued him for some big money the first time. He said it was a principal for that $1 that he got, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I
that
can't
quarterback he was talking about was Eldridge Dickey.
Yeah, Eldridge Dickey. Okay. I can't think of any other owner who loved his players as much as Al Davis did. He paid for all his players' funerals. He really listened to his players. I mean, he was a players owner, a players coach. He was everything to the Raiders. I mean, he got old at the end and got old, but he meant well. He always tried to field a good football team on the field for the Raiders, and that right there, I respect him for. I just only wish that he would have got that one in 2002, because I felt that would have just then, because he died, 2011, passed. So, I've always had much respect for Al Davis, you know what I'm saying? Because that the kind of person he was, you know what I'm saying? And then also, even though I hate the 49ers, I've never been 49ers fan, don't like them at all, can't stomach them. But I can tell you what, that owner they had before, if he got kicked out from the gambling boat, Eddie DeBartolo, was one of if him and Al Davis are the two greatest owners that I can think of, because Eddie D treated all those 49ers players like family. He treated those players well. He paid them well, paid them under the table too. Dion got some of that table money, got that envelope. You know how the Italians do it. He got at one of the Christmas party, he got that envelope.
Was he the owner? Did he trade Joe?
Well, he didn't want to trade Joe, but they had to. They had Steve Young there, though. I mean, that's why Joe Montana got traded. I mean, there's Steve Young. He was just sitting there, and it was really Bill Walsh. Bill Walsh is the one who. It wasn't Eddie DeBartolo. It was Bill Walsh who wanted to trade, because he had Steve Young. It was time to have a more modern day quarterback that can run, throw. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what Bill Walsh's vision was.
This just sidebar. I don't want to cut your wisdom out, brother. But do you think, because Steve Young only won one Super Bowl, right?
Right.
Do you think Joe could have won that Super Bowl with that same exact team?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Joe Montana, of course. Joe Montana is better than Steve Young. We know that, but he was getting old, and it was injury reasons why they were trying to push him out. And you know that it wasn't about, if he was 100% healthy, there's no way that I trade Joe Montana for Steve Young. No way, shape, or form. That just wouldn't happen. You know what I'm saying? But Eddie DeBartolo, to me, was the visionary. He was the one who, if you think of the 49ers, that the helmet, that's him, because he is the one who had made the 49ers go, because them players loved Eddie DeBartolo. They run through a damn brick wall for Eddie DeBartolo. You never hear nobody say anything bad about Eddie DeBartolo. That's that's when they had class. That organization was built on class when he was owning the 49ers. And he was the main reason why the 49ers was that great, because he gave them everything that he needed. He gave Bill Walsh everything he needed to succeed. You know what I'm saying? And he played the background, Gregory. He wasn't like Jerry Jones. He wasn't trying to be in the front liner, Gregory. He stayed in the background.
All in the videos.
All he did was sign. You have all in the videos. He was, Jerry Jones, I'm all in Pepsi commercials. I'm all in videos. When he was in Dion's the Pepsi commercial, I'm like, well, damn, Jerry, just sit your ass back and let them have some glory. Let somebody else have some glory. You want to steal the thunder all the time.
He's like, you go, cowboy.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You remember that one, huh? See, that's what I'm talking about. So Eddie DeBartolo's played the back, Gregory, and all Eddie DeBartolo did is sign checks and say, go out there and win.
Yeah,
that's it. That's my 3 minutes of phone call. I think I should be at 3 minutes. You know what I'm
You probably
saying?
about
But
5, but it's all good, you know.
oh, I can go, but hey, but I say no.
All right, architect, bring us home, man.
All right, man. My 3 minutes. It's about the old media, man. Because really, I was scrolling through Twitter today and I saw Skip Bayless, being Skip Bayless, just talking smack. He really singled out Russell Westbrook and he called him West Brick. And, that's been the joke around the season because obviously Russell Westbrook had a terrible season in his first stint with the Lakers. But Russell Westbrook, he came back and replied to him on Twitter and basically was like, bro, don't be basically talking down on my last name. That's my last name you making fun of. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I get it. Skip, this is what he does. This is what he's been doing for years. But, as I was scrolling through the comments, I saw, was it a while ago? It was Jim Rome and I want to say John Everett. I think
Jim Everett. Jim Everett. Me and Greg, we know that.
Yeah,
one.
You know what I'm saying? And Jim Rome kept calling him Chris Everett the entire time. And, he got on. He's like, call me Chris again, He said, I'll call it to your face. He called him Chris again. That man flipped the table and went right at him. You know what I'm saying?
He's always talking about that.
I feel like, in the media, man, I feel like we should have more respect towards athletes, respecting them and, actually realizing, use your brain for a couple of minutes. They are human. They have feelings. They have very much the right to feel angry, be upset, no matter what you say. And then you can't just go back and be like, well, that's just my opinion. Okay, well, in real life, your opinion can get your ass kicked. You know what I'm saying? And even in Skip Bayless, he avid on Twitter. He came back and was like, I invite Russell Westbrook to come on the show, and I'll gladly tell you about why I call you Westbrook. Now, we all see how angry Russell Westbrook plays on the court. Can you imagine it? I can only imagine if Russell Westbrook, especially him being where he's from, like him, Skip Bayless having even mouthing the words. I can see something like that situation with Jim Rome happening. Granted, I don't think it would because I feel like Russell Westbrook would be a little bit more composed. But at the end of the day, I feel like you can only say so much before a man cracks. Or let that be a female. You know what I'm saying? I go to, as far as on the female side, I go to Sha'Carri Richardson. You know what I'm saying? They try to talk her up and all that, But when she obviously we see it. I don't know if y'all been paying attention as far as running to try and qualify, but she failed to qualify for the 200. And there was the whole thing. Well, Sha'Carri Richardson, she's doing all this and basically trying to downplay the fact that she's very much being herself. And she even came out on a statement and was like, look, y'all need to have respect for athletes. And I feel like as someone who not only talks on sports, but who's an avid watcher of various amounts of sports, I feel like that's why you have the Draymond Greens and the JJ Redicks and stuff like that talking so heavily on the fact that you have to not only respect these players, but at the end of the day, like realize that these are human beings and grown men and women that you're talking about. And however they react, that's because that's how they feel. And you can't then try and flip it and play victim if they come back at you. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, that was kind of my 3 minutes, man. I feel like, just have respect for athletes. They are in this profession for a reason. You know what I'm saying? I get it. Y'all have a job, but y'all can go about y'all job respectfully.
Yeah. I like that, and that's a very layered conversation because, white cats, Europeans, whatever you want to say, in the media, they use their mouthpiece and they feel like you should not be punished for what you say, no matter what you say. Us as Black people, we're emotional people. We're emotional beings. Therefore, that's the reason why if you talk about my mama, man, I might try to kill you. I'm saying it's like Skip Bayless looking at it like, I'm calling you Westbrook. It's only your word. Blah, blah, blah. Westbrook is looking at it like, man, I will whoop his ass. But at the same time, Skip Bayless, one, he has a watchdog by the name of old Shay Sharp. And number two, he has a position in this world as a white man in the media, and he knows if this Black man touches me, that Black man will be eternally fucked. You know what I'm saying? Like Russell Westbrook, no, he can't touch that man. You know what I'm saying? And Skip Bayless knows he can't touch him. So it's one of those things. It's very layered and very contextualized and all that other bullshit. But,
yeah, I mean, shock jock. That's what they get. It's
Yeah.
shock jock. This is nothing new. I mean, this is what I'm just gonna say on this real quick, architect. I don't want to call your generation sensitive. I don't want to call them thin-skinned, but like sports talk, shock jock is intertwined. It's interwoven now. It's not just straight up sports talk. You know what I'm saying? They because of that, I remember Jim Rome. That was on ESPN. I remember that he got knocked out and he blew up.
Yep.
He became even more famous.
Yep.
But for talking disrespectfully to an athlete. Right.
Yep.
And so now in this age of social media, when you can clap back in a second, it's like, I don't know. I just think athletes have rabbit ears these days. They hear everything. Like, just you got to. Yeah. And to me, one of the rawest statements ever made was by a basketball wife. They are a non-motherfucking
I'm about to make this
factor.
Say that one more time.
They are a non-motherfucking factor. Non-factor. And they need to start seeing reporters as such. They are non-factors. Okay. And I just want them to I just think they just need to like put down the antennas because they hear everything and just like, look, I mean, long as they ain't coming, I mean, yeah, you don't want people talking about you, especially on the personal side, your family stuff, all that's supposed to be off limits. But let me tell you, they just like Freddy Krueger, man. The more you ignore them, they wither away. They'll wither away. You know what I'm saying? And to me, they're non-factors. I just don't like to see the back and forth because that means that they can always prod you. I ain't saying you got to be Jackie. Jackie from back in the day where they put black hats on the court.
Jackie Robinson.
They ain't got to be Jackie and just take it. Because nobody has to take that level of disrespect. But I'm just saying, just understand, don't feed the beast. They feed into the beast.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And so so it's always continual. You got to know when to cut it off.
Well, just like the Carlissimo choking. Carlissimo, the Carlissimo beat, and that's why Skip Bayless might get the Carlissimo choking.
Hey, it maybe happened. You know what I mean? And
you know what I'm saying?
He said, let's say with that, ladies and gentlemen, that was another great show with my compadres. I'm gonna let everybody sign off for this one.
It's your boy Raider Mike with your AFC West champion, Oakland. I mean, not Oakland, but Las Vegas Raiders this year. You heard it from me. Yeah, I said it.
Okay.
All right, man. It's your boy, the Young Architect, man. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. You know what I'm saying? Make sure if y'all have any suggestions on what you think we should talk about, man, go ahead, drop them in the comments. Like, subscribe, share it everywhere. Turn them bell notifications on, man, so you don't miss none of these good live events that we have. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Raider Lady checking out. You're gonna pop the collar. We're gonna keep it going. Always a blast. Like I said, subscribe, share it. It grows and grows, baby.
Yes. And once again, I'm your humble host, Big G, and I'm signing out. And I want to thank everyone for checking us out. We will be back next week for another interesting show. We're going to dig deep each time. The mainstream media may be going right. We're going to go left. We're going to figure this thing out. But thank you for everybody for your